Kevin. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you here today on this prestigious occasion. As you know, we are here to acknowledge one very deserving person, Margaret, by conferring on them the Council's highest honour, the Freewoman of the Borough. Can I please invite Margaret to join me? Congratulations, Margaret.
Thank you.
Margaret Burrows, that this Borough Council, by virtue of the provisions of Section 249 of the Local Government Act 1972, and in recognition of her eminent services to the Borough, confer upon Mrs Margaret Burrows the honorary Freewoman of the Borough of Barrow in acknowledgement of her contribution to disabled people, their carers and families.
Thank you so much. Madam Mayor, councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and honour to speak on behalf of Margaret, my mum, and on behalf of our family on this most prestigious occasion. It is fitting that the honour should involve the conference of freedom, as it is the very thing that has been Margaret's driving force throughout her varied career in the voluntary sector. She can famously persuade anyone to part with anything when it comes to one of her good causes. No donation is too small to be valued, and no donation is too large to be embarrassing. Pence by pence and pound by pound, Margaret has amassed over £5 million for the BDDA. She has led teams of staff and volunteers as they've acquired new properties and expanded their services. Most people know of Mum's work from the BDDA, yet many people don't realise that this is just the tip of the iceberg. She is a trustee at Barrow Women's Community Matters. She was a governor at St George's School and Furness College. She has been a member of the Cumbria Constabulary Independent Advisory Board, and she has acted as advocate for those for whom social injustice has severely impacted their lives. Her list of roles and achievements is almost as endless as her energy. She has done what it takes to provide freedoms for those without. She has provided playgrounds, vehicles, homes, equipment, money, support, transport, holidays, and above all, hope. She is quite simply relentless. Over the years, Margaret has been recognised for her community services, including being awarded the MBE in 2002 and the Order of Mercy Medal in 2006. Yet I will be so bold as to say, I imagine the most meaningful of all is finally having her freedoms acknowledged in her beloved Barrow. So please join me in thanking Margaret for her 40 plus years of service to our town.
I, Margaret Burrows, do solemnly declare that I will be good and true to our sovereign King Charles III, that I will be obedient to the Mayor of this borough, that I will know no gatherings nor conspiracies made against the King's peace, but I will warn the Mayor thereof, and that all these points and articles I will well and truly keep. Thank you.
I have with me the Mayor, Hayley Preston. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thanks Russell. How are you?
What an absolutely wonderful, wonderful event for a wonderful, wonderful lady.
Yeah, I was just saying before that we didn't know when Margaret was put forward to get the freedom of the borough that the Borough Council would be no more next year. So I think it's quite fitting that one of our last free persons of the borough would be Margaret as well. She has such an impact on all the people that she meets. She always has time to talk to people. But the amount of money that she's brought back in for those that need it the most in our borough, it's absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, we've all encountered Margaret at some point in our lives, and I noticed in the speeches she doesn't take no for an answer. She fights for everybody, doesn't she?
I think, it's great that we have a handful of tenacious ladies in the borough that fight for the rights of the people, and Margaret is up there, top of the list.
I have with me Bill McEwen and Paul Rose. Both have experiences of the wonderful lady Margaret, who was given the freedom of the borough today. Bill, what can you say about Margaret?
All I can say, what a wonderful lady, and a well-deserved honour for a lady who's brought a lot into this town, not only for the disabled people, but for everybody, because she come from poverty, as we just heard. She knows what it's all about, and she knows what people need, and she's still doing it to this day. She is just an honour to the town, and it was one thing well-deserved. I was proud to be here and privileged to know this lady.
I have with me the recipient of this wonderful award, and very well-deserved, Margaret Burrows. Congratulations, Margaret.
Thank you, Russell. I really appreciate your congratulations, because you're such a special person and you help the Disability Association so much.
When did you first find out you were getting this award?
Just at the beginning of the pandemic, but it was postponed, of course, until we were all allowed to meet as we have done today. So it's been quite a couple of years that I've known about it, but not being able to tell people. So, and I was very, very shocked in the first place. Councillor Kevin Hamilton, my friend and little monkey, he nominated me, and it went to council, and I was amazed that it was unanimous vote in favour. When I first became disabled, like majority of disabled people who acquire a disability, they'll have secretly a sadness and a regret, and say to themselves, why me? What have I done to deserve this? And I went through that, and it's only now that all these years later I realise that wasn't a punishment, it was a gift, because I couldn't have helped these people if I didn't understand how they felt. So therefore I've no longer got regrets about becoming a disabled person. I've forgotten what it's like not to be. But it doesn't mean to say, because you're disabled, you're unable. If there's a will and a determination, you can make mountains move. And like I was saying, some have failed with, but there's a heck of a lot that I've succeeded with, because I'm not easily put off either. But there's one person that everything I do is my mother, because she had a hard time. She was a mother of 9 children, and she didn't have luxuries, but she always used to say we were her 9 jewels, and we all vowed not to do anything that she would be ashamed of us. So I'm hoping that one day when we meet again, that myself and all my siblings can say to my mum, we didn't let you down.
And I'm sure she would be very proud of you, and when you meet again, she will be proud of you. Margaret, thank you so much. I'll let you get to the buffet now. And thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you. I appreciate everything Can Do does to help us reach disabled people too.